is What If Spider-Man Was in Young Justice Part 9. Now this is the last part 2, season 1 of Young Justice. Continuing the story from episode 24, Performance, to episode 25 and 26. Now, I am for part 10. Part 10 is going to be the introduction of season 2 for this What If. Meaning I'm going to be introducing a lot more Spider-Man villains and a lot more Spider-Man characters, even this universe's version of Daredevil maybe, and a couple other Marvel characters that exist in the Spider-Man universe and might be bringing in their doppelgangers in this universe and make them a lot more prominent. You know, the butterfly effect for my what ifs at least. Now, let's just dive right into episode 25 and let's get started. As we get switched to the beginning of episode 25, as we see Superman and the Justice League at the Hall of Justice give a speech about how the Justice League was formed to make sure that no one individual, no matter how powerful they are, cannot solve the world's problems by themselves. As we see that Speedy, or Red Arrow, has been joined on the, Young Justice, as they are all, pretty much bringing in new candidates and new members of the team that day. As they still do have candidates set up for the rest of the team, as in Peter. Peter has been, pretty much the top second best runner-up to join the league, other than Speedy, or other than Red Arrow. But as we see that Peter and the rest of the group are in the Hall of Justice, basically watching this all and seeing everybody get handed pretty much their card of being a Justice Leaguer, being introduced to the league or the team. As Rocket is kind of angry that, pretty much no one else on the team was brought in, and basically that them knowing that Peter was probably the second best they could have brought on the team, but Red Arrow was brought on the team anyways. So, I'm kind of, mad about that. Basically, as the team just, the rest of the team is kind of happy for everybody else. They got on the team. They're a Justice League member now. Plus, what would happen doing this? As pretty much, Red Arrow and, Red Arrow, Plastic Man, and Icon being the new members of the team. I'm pretty sure Adam was also a new member of the team as well. The Atom, as they would all be introduced to the Hall of Justice, them being told they are ready to see. As Red Tornado, Batman, and Black Canary will be there to introduce them to the team. They'll introduce them to the Hall of Justice. As they all go in, they see that, in the waiting room, the team is just gone. They dipped. And pretty much doing that, we see that, we get switched later away from, the new members of the, Justice League. We switch away from their, pretty much group, and we get switched to, the intro scene of episode 25, as we get switched to the main team, our people. Now, we see that they're in the, pretty much, bioship going on a mission, and Peter is also there with them, as usual. Peter in his classic red and blue suit, as they are tracking down, Jade, or, pretty much Artemis's sister. As he is tracking her down, Aqualad tells Robin to focus on what, Jade is carrying, since Jade is on the run with some sort of briefcase of some sorts. They see that's the same case from, the previous episode of New Orleans, I can't remember the name. I don't know how to pronounce it, but New Orleans, as, they were chasing her with Speedy and Artemis chasing them, or not Speedy, but Wally and Artemis, and also pretty much Sportsmaster, I think, there as well. Them also trying to chase down pretty much Jade. As Rocket, being a new member of the team, basically says, so I guess Stretcher, or whatever, I can't remember. I'm just going to call her Jade. As she says, so Jade, I guess from the mugshot, she's the bad guy. So how are we going to catch her? As they all have the same conversation, basically them just, playing it. Just them, pretty much getting to the Jade's location as they were tracking her in, the North Pole, some area. As they see that, the plane she was on is crashed, totaled, and it looks like there's no survivors. As they look around, they eventually, come in encounters with a couple villains, as they are ambushed. As they are ambushed by the League of Shadows, alongside Riddler, Blockbuster, and also another newer member of this whole entire squad, aka well, not, more obscured, but, recently, more popular hero, or not popular villain of Spider-Man, Shocker. As Shocker is there, as he, gets ready to fight, well, Spidey. Now, as the team is ambushed and pretty much put in a type of force field to keep them from running, as they are, attacked by the Riddler and Blockbuster and also Shocker. So, League of Shadow members with high-end tech are there as well, as the team's cornered and they are forced to fight. As the team's looking around, trying to figure out if Stretcher even survived, because it seemed like in this type of, mission or the situation, it seems that the situation has escalated. Now, as also another member is there, I'm pretty sure was it the bodyguard for, I think, the Cobra King or the Cobra leader from the clan that they were fighting in like episode 4, I think, in season 1. As they start to fight pretty much, well, the soldiers or the League of Shadow members, as Wally, Lad, Spidey, and everybody else is running around. As Connor goes for, pretty much cover to pit on his last Lex Luthor tech, pretty much pouch that gives him his high end or his higher Kryptonian genes to make him stronger. As we see that pretty much Peter is swinging around, shooting webs left and right, and basically dodging attacks left and right, just doing his normal Spider-Man thing as he eventually comes across Shocker. As he starts to fight Shocker, he starts to dodge more attacks and more, pretty much shocks. And as he, examines his powers, Shocker's just shooting bolts of, like, waves of energies left and right, taking down other League of members, other, pretty much League of Shadow members down, also taking down Aqualad and Rocket as well, before they are, pretty much cornered by other other League of Shadow members. As Megan and Connor and everybody else, they're having their, luck run out. As Connor is fighting Blackbuster as he gets angry and not absorbs, but actually gives off his Kryptonian abilities, him just overly all bodying Blackbuster. As Spidey, Robin, and everybody notices that Connor is flying and he's beating the absolute dog water out of Blockbuster, using laser vision, punching him all around, and overall just destroying the dude as he breaks mountains or the mountain area as he goes beast mode. He's just destroying Blockbuster as they are going all in, like everything is just going way out. As pretty much it wouldn't be Blockbuster, but the Venom guy, I can't remember his name. I'm just gonna call him Blockbuster for the sake, but I'm pretty sure I put a picture up of the character right here, right next to Shocker. But as pretty much we see that, well, they start to fight, and Robin starts to take down, Riddler and the other woman that was next to him, as he corners Riddler. As Satana is also cornering Riddler as well. As Riddler is taken down, as Shocker is still fighting Peter, as Peter starts to dodge more attacks, as Santana jumps in behind Shocker and basically shoots a huge bolt of electricity behind Shocker, malfunctioning his tech and knocking him out, as Peter webs him up on the floor. As they look around and they see everything going the same, as Santana uses her powers to pretty much stop the snow that was in the force field and basically stop the situation from escalating. As they get back to Mount Justice, as they retrieve the case and get what they came for the mission. As they succeed at the mission, same thing happens, as they are told, that's well done. You've done a great job. A great job. Saying they did a great job from Batman of all people. Now, as Batman looks over the tech they made, Alien pretty much was it alien anatomy plus alien tech mixed together in some sort of weapon of mind control or some sort of bioweapon. As they basically look at the tech and they are interested in how it even works. As they look over the tech and pretty much they look over it, try to figure out what's going on with it, as they just close up the pretty much case and the League moves off. As Icon's about to move with the League as he's stopped by Rocket. As Rocket tells him she's proud of him. Basically not really holding a grudge. Not too much at least. As they say their goodbyes as they leave or they dip. As Peter is, pretty much there with the rest of the group as they are all just getting ready to, do their thing. As they all have the same conversation, as Connor is kind of, getting some withdrawal side effects from him not having his pad with him, as he feels weaker. As they do bring up the fact that Connor has real Kryptonian powers now, like straight up all the Kryptonian powers now. As Superboy is having withdrawal side effects, but also he does get pretty much called by Lex Luthor telepathically that aside of Prisca, he has more pads for him. As Connor says, I have to do something, and he goes there. As the team all goes there, as not all the team, but Superboy goes there, and we see that Superboy arrives there in the pretty much orb or pretty much bioship. No, not bioship, but another ship. I can't remember the name. Now, as Lex Luthor with Queen Bee, they introduce themselves, and basically Lex Luthor prepares to give Connor the pads. As Blockbuster, the actual Blockbuster, and pretty much other members alongside Bane and a bunch of others arrive there. As Connor makes, the same conversation, as eventually Artemis shows up there with Jade and Sportsmaster, her noticing Connor, them all being, blackmailed to come here. As pretty much, Megan also arrives there, her trying to keep her secret, and basically, being, let's just say female dogged by Queen Bee. As they all, make their same type of statement and stuff like that, as they all, do their thing, eventually, us noticing a little bit or something differently happening. As Connor tells them what's happening, we have a flashback of Connor telling them what he, his real biological other father, like Luthor, the past he's been giving him and everything else. And basically, them all exposing their pretty much, secrets to each other so they don't have anything between each other, so they won't have anything to keep a secret. So as they all tell each other the secret and tell each other everything between them, Artemis telling them everything alongside pretty much, Megan also, as they all ambush or go against Queen Bee and Lex Luthor, and also Sportsmaster and Bane, as the whole team has no secrets between them, as the team accepts Megan for what she is, or, who she is. As Peter's not really shocked or fazed in the slightest, because, Peter, for him at least, Peter doesn't really care, because he's seen way uglier. He's seen, the true, he's seen a lot of aliens in his universe, or his time. As Artemis, Megan, and the rest of the team start to ambush everybody, start to, just straight up drop everybody, as Connor uses his strength, starts to go around the place, and starts to pretty much tank everything, as Blockbuster jumps in and starts to attack pretty much Connor, keeping him at bay, as you see that, the ship, or the, orb that Connor rid to come here, as Santa Prisca, basically starts to attack against the other League of Shadow members, and also pretty much people that were there with Bane, as in his lackeys. As Bane's lackeys start to fight against everybody, as Rocket takes down Bane or grabs him and throws him into the trees, alongside Wally coming across Bane, as Bane gets back up pretty quickly and starts to pretty much fight and pump himself with, venom, as he goes berserk, as he starts to attack everybody. As we see that Peter swoops in with webbing and starts to go toe-to-toe with Bane, as he starts to dodge Bane's attacks with relative ease, as he starts to punch Bane left and right in different areas, his knees, ankles, everything, and starts to straight up just body Bane and starts to rip out his, the tooth that was giving him serum, taking him down in a matter of minutes, as he just uses his athleticism to just, make it better or something like that. Now, as Bane is taken down quickly, meaning that, Santara and Robin aren't fighting Bane in this continuity, since Peter would take him down pretty quickly. As Connor's getting, not downed, but pretty much dogged on by Blockbuster, as pretty much, Lex Luthor and his assistant tries to escape, as Rocket goes after them to take him down, as Lex Luthor's, security system on his helicopter takes down Rocket pretty quickly, or keeps her at bay. As Peter goes up there to try to assist Rocket, as Rocket, for some reason, actually reacts slower, her getting hit with one of the rockets, but not really doing much damage, is just making her pretty much pass out for a short second, making her fall onto the ground as Peter jumps in to grab her and gets her out the way. As Peter looks away and sees that, Artemis is cornered by Jade and Sportsmaster, as Wally jumps in to try to save her, as Sportsmaster is still up, as Peter out of nowhere throws a web around Sportsmaster's face and suffocates him until he passes out. As Robin and Santara starts to fight against pretty much Blockbuster, as Santara and Robin start to fight against Blockbuster alongside Peter trying to help Connor. As they all start to fight, pretty much Blockbuster trying to stop him. As Blockbuster knocks out Peter with one foul punch to the face or the back of the head, knocking him out quickly, even cracking his skull just a tiny bit, but not too much to actually leave any permanent damage. As pretty much Aqualad and Rocket and the rest of the team jumps in and, eventually they all take down Blockbuster, and Blockbuster is knocked out with one swift punch from Connor as Peter is picked up by Robin and basically put over his shoulder, and Peter's just, there to, make sure, or Peter basically there so he doesn't get, grabbed because he's knocked out and he's pretty much open to any attack. As Jade and Artemis double-cross Sportsmaster, as Sportsmaster's, knocked out bodies on the ground, as Artemis kicks him one last time upside the head as he's already knocked out. As pretty much Wally gets out of the bushes after he was, taken down by Sportsmaster before Spidey jumped in, as pretty much, Artemis and, pretty much, Wally's relationship kind of blossoms from there as they meet up with the rest of the team, as the rest of the team pretty much, is successful at taking down the main group or the main villains or the main big bads, as we get switched to the Watchtower. As we see the Watchtower, as we see Batman check out the biogenetics or the technology on the stuff they found, as we see that, Red Arrow uses one of the tech to put it on the back of Batman, taking him under control. Us seeing that the tech is some sort of mind control technology, as pretty much, Red Arrow uses it to take out or to take over all the members of the Justice League, including Batman being the last one, and basically Red Arrow being modified by none other than the famous, Vandal Savage. As Vandal Savage shows up through a boom tube, basically him being kind of the head member of the Light, as the Justice League is at his mercy and is at his control. As Red Arrow snaps out of his whole mind control thing he was in, as he is confused on what has he done. As Vandal Savage says, I genetically modified you to do this, even against your own will. As we get switched to the end of episode 25, as I continue with episode 26. As episode 26 continues after episode 25, as obviously every episode does, as we see that Red Arrow is running away from the Justice League as he rebels against them through the city's subway, as pretty much Green Arrow is starting to, ambush Red Arrow. Green Arrow starts to go against Red Arrow alongside Flash, also double tagging Red Arrow, trying to take him out as quick as possible. As Aquaman's there as well, as Speedy is pretty much getting his butt handed to him. As the train shows up, him about to get hit by it, as he fakes his own type of demise, as he gets out the way at the last second from the bus. Or the train. As, Green Arrow, Aquaman, and Flash look and see that, one of the manhole covers underneath the subway line was opened, them noticing that Red Arrow was able to escape. As we get hit with the intro of the series, as we get switched back to Mount Justice as is wintertime, December 31st. Now, as, pretty much, Robin, Aqualad, Kid Flash, Artemis, Rocket, Santana, Superboy, and Peter and Megan are all there, and they both showed that Red Arrow is a fugitive. Since the Justice League that is there has already been taken over by the tech, as they are told by Vandal Savage, and pretty much manipulate the team into thinking that Red Arrow is a traitor to the Justice League. And basically they tell them, what's going on, or what went down. A bit simple. Now, as they tell the team pretty much, well, that Red Arrow is a traitor, and they tell everything about Vandal Savage and stuff like that. But they start under the control, or at least they think they are. They are still under control, by the way. Now, basically, as they were told by the team to go after him, or to tell them if they find him, in this continuity, as they all try to figure out what's going on, as pretty much what's going on, as pretty much they start to split up, as they try to bring back or resuscitate pretty much Red Tornado, as Red Tornado is switched back into his other android body, as Black Canary walks in onto them, thinking that they did something to, pretty much Red Tornado, as Red Tornado's new android body is destroyed, but they start to fight against Black Canary. As Black Canary starts to body everybody in the team, out of nowhere, Peter wants to end this pretty quickly, so he straight up sucker punched the absolute soul out of Black Canary before she can even think. I mean, he literally almost breaks her whole jaw off. I mean, like, for a split second, he loses his strength, or he loses his control over his strength, knocking out Black Canary and shooting her across the room, as she's knocked into a crater and basically knocked out pretty quickly. As more members of the Justice League show up, as an Icon, Captain Marvel, and Dr. Fate show up, them seeing that the team is just gone, as the team leaves pretty much with the new android body of Red Tornado, as Red Tornado's android body tells them what's going on with the tech and how it's taken over pretty much, the whole Justice League. As they say, how are we going to beat the whole Justice League? As Spidey's also kind of, this is actually kind of, he doesn't know what to do with the situation. Now, as we get switched to pretty much, Aqualad and Superboy, Megan, and the other members of the team being split up in Bioship as they run around trying to figure out what's happening or what went down with Red Arrow. As they come across Red Arrow trying to figure out if they're under, control or something. And as they quickly figure out that they're not under control, as they try to ally themselves with Red Arrow. As Red Arrow tells them everything, that he's been under control and that he's been manipulated all this time. As we get switched to the climax of the whole type of season of Red Arrow's, introduction. As Red Arrow tells them that over time he used his tech to pretty much, take control over all the members of the League. As what happened is, everything would go in accordingly, as he would use all the tech to take control over all the members of the League. As he would be told that, everything from the point where they got the tech, that's where everything went downhill. As Red Arrow tells them that he remembered everything and broke out of his command or his mission and rebelled against them, and that's why they're after him. As we get switched to Red Tornado and pretty much Red Tornado, Red Arrow, and Black Canary, as they, pretty much, are all out of control of the tech, as they, pretty much cured each other, and they all go back there trying to go, pretty much undercover, as they are all, taken under control since, pretty much, I can't remember his name, like Kid Chaos or something. I don't remember his name. Kid Chaos or something. I'll put like his picture right here. But pretty much, as Vandal Savage and pretty much Green Lantern and everybody else would have everything, pretty much all the secrets of the whole season 1 would be, pretty much revealed, as Red Tornado, or Speedy, or like Red Arrow, and also pretty much Black Canary would be put back under control, as they would be told everything, to the Venom, to Katniss, to Simon taking over or trying to, erase the teams, pretty much, memories, everything, every conflict they came across that was a big plan of the Light. Everything was accorded by the Light. Vandal Savage, everybody, Ocean Master, every single main villain, every single big bad would be a part of this story. Would be a part of this, as pretty much the rest of the team infiltrates the inner areas of pretty much the team or the hall or the watchtower, as Plastic Man is taken out pretty quickly by Robin and everybody else, pretty much him being taken down and cured, as they all run around curing every other member of the Justice League as they go against Hawkman and cure him as well, taking him down pretty quickly, taking down pretty much every person that they can get their hands on and curing them, as pretty much as the Atom, is slicing some food as he goes back to normal size as they cure him as well, pretty much them tricking most of the members of the Justice League, them trying to cure them as they cure pretty much the Atom, Atomic, I don't remember his name, Captain Atom, something, and also a couple others, as they all start to cure them as well. As pretty much Chaos says that, a lot of the pretty much, was members of the Justice League have been going offline, and they have some sort of cure against them, something to block the tech, meaning that Red Arrow, Black Canary, and Red Tornado are basically immune to the tech. As the Boom Toon shows up out of nowhere, as Superman and the rest of the other members show up alongside Batman, as they all start to get bodied by the other Justice League members, as Spidey and the rest of the team show up there. As they all show up there trying to figure out or try to take down the rest of the Justice League members, or the main, strongest members of the Justice League, they all get taken down pretty quickly. As Spidey, for some reason, is able to get there pretty quickly under the surveillance of the other, tech and members of the Justice League, as he sees everybody get taken down, him for some reason not being recognized by the other members, as the other tech or the other stuff that they're trying to cure everybody else with, as Icon, Captain Marvel, and everybody is taken down pretty quickly and pretty much cured. As pretty much Chitauri uses her powers to force Captain Marvel to save Billy Batson, curing him as well, and basically pretty much stopping the mind control, as they all go on with the rest of the mission. As Peter swings across, trying to go against the other members of the Justice League, as he starts to fight them. As Centaur, for the last time, tries to destroy the helmet of Dr. Fate, or try to take it off of Dr. Fate as he's knocked out, her trying to save her father, but seeing that the helmet, even after that, is not able to be taken off. As Artemis tries to fight against, Flash taking down Wally pretty quickly, and Aquaman and Green Arrow fighting against Wally and Artemis, as they start to fight against them. As pretty much Peter starts to fight against them, him coming behind Kid Chaos and webbing him in the back, trying to, pretty much overpower him. As he starts to take down Peter's starting to dodge out of the way over and over, as they start to dodge Peter's attacks, as pretty much everybody or the main members of the Justice League start to fight against each other, as they pretty much Peter is antagonizing them, using their powers against them, making Superman's shield laser beam towards pretty much Batman, hitting him in the back. But Batman is pushed out of the wall into Robin as he starts to fight against Robin. As Robin and Batman are put into a position to fight as they go against each other. As we see that Batman and Superboy start to fight each other alongside the teams trying to fight their idols. As Martian Manhunter and Superman are pretty much fighting each other, fighting their, predecessors, as in Martian and Superboy have to fight their pretty much idols, or their pretty much, let's just say people, I guess. Now basically, as she goes into like a mental attack or assault against pretty much, Martian Manhunter, as Megan takes down Martian Manhunter pretty quickly, as she gets clocked in the front of the face by Superman. As Superman starts to body everybody, including Connor, as Superman sees this and not sees it, but Superboy sees this and is trying to fight against Superman, but sees that he's nowhere near his strength. As we see that, well, Robin is getting bodied by Batman pretty quickly because he's Batman. But as Robin and Superboy try to team up against each other to take down Superman and Batman, as he throws Robin towards Batman and he uses, pretty much, well, that little space or the little area of space to pretty much cure Batman, as he also uses it to cure pretty much Superman, as he uses kryptonite on Superman and Connor as they both fall down to the ground. As Superman is cured pretty quickly, as we see that Robin has like severe kryptonite on him, but as well he grabs or picks up Connor, as we see that Spidey is fighting against Vandal Savage, as he's starting to dodge more of Vandal Savage's attacks as he goes toe to toe with Vandal Savage. For some reason, Vandal Savage trying to figure out how is Spider-Man keeping up with him, as his extra senses or his spider sense is keeping or making sure he keeps up with Vandal Savage, dodging more of his attacks over and over, as he eventually dodges more attacks again and again, eventually throwing in a lot of punches, weaves, dodges, and jabs into Vandal Savage's face, and overall just overpowering him. As Vandal Savage is being overpowered by Peter, him being interested in Peter's power, as he looks around and he sees that Chaos is about to dip, as Vandal Savage sees that he has that more of the members have shown up and that he has no real power here just yet. He can't defeat them. So as he uses this opportunity, he straight up just sucks. I mean, sucks the absolute. I can't say it on YouTube, but he literally knocks the water, like he knocks the soul out of Peter's face, as Peter is sent flying as Vandal Savage dips with Kid Chaos as they disappear. As we see that pretty much Connor, Megan, as he dips, we see that New Year's Eve still goes, and as we see that Connor has a New Year's kiss with Megan alongside everybody else having New Year's kisses. Pretty much Peter being left out because he didn't get a New Year's kiss because there's no other female members of the team other than Rocket, but Rocket kissed Aqualad, as pretty much Spidey just brushes it off and walks off. As we get switched to Connor, as Connor reconciles with Superman alongside the rest of the members going or trying to figure out what went down, as they all told what happened, as they are all cured and everything goes specifically the same. But as we see that the original body of Red Arrow or Speedy, the Speedy from episode 1, that real one, is found in Katniss Labs by Ra's al Ghul. As we get switched to the team thinking or remembering that Hawkgirl, Stewart, Green Lantern, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, and also Martian Manhunter were gone for hours, and we do not know what they did. And pretty much Batman trying to figure out what they did. Now, season 1 will be left off there. Now, it wouldn't be left off there though, as Spidey would be on his way back to a type of apartment he had in Metropolis, as he was, standing there for a little bit, as he would go there, basically him running into a woman for some reason that looked uncannily like Gwen Stacy. This universe having its own Gwen Stacy, as Peter would bump into her, as they would talk to each other, and Peter would flirt with her a little bit, him getting a number and a date. As he would go back up to his apartment, him basically sitting in there, as he would get some sort of news on the news, as he would look, seeing that it would be the opening night of a second building in Metropolis of Oscorp, as he would be pretty much shot saying what the, and basically him looking closely and seeing that this universe would have its own Norman Osborn alongside its own Oscorp as well. Him being very much distraught by this, setting up Green Goblin and also Gwen Stacy, the foul Gwen Stacy, we all know, if you're a Spider-Man fan, you all know what happened to Gwen Stacy. But basically, that's going to be setting up season 2 for Spider-Man's story. And pretty much Green Goblin's going to be a real occurring big bad in season 2. Now, also, for season 2. So yeah, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys like and subscribe. And as always, guys, have a blessed day. Deuces.